Now, this is the Broughton Archipelago, and you can see Vancouver Island there. And I went to DFO and I got all the data from the tagged Chinook that have been caught in that area, and these are the rivers they came from. So if we have a disease problem in the Broughton Archipelago and feeding Chinook pick up a disease and they don't die of it and just become a carrier, they're going to take it back to all of these creeks throughout the mainland, down into the U.S. and along the island, and even north. There was a huge outbreak in 2001 and 2003. When this happened, when you have a hatchery and you have an IHN outbreak in the hatchery, you kill those fish. Nobody lets you put them out in the ocean. The DFO does not allow you to put them out in the ocean. But with the salmon farms, they don't touch them. So what happened, this person, Sonia Saxida, she is definitely not on my side of this issue, but she did write this paper. So that you can, this is a very critical analysis of what happened. In 2001, IHN passed to one salmon farm in this area, down to the Straits, during the sockeye inbound migration. So these are adult sockeye going by. And it infected one farm, and then all the farms that shared water picked up the virus. And then, according to her, when they had their young smolt in their vessels, their smolt transporting vessels, they were pumping water from the ocean and then spilling it out to give oxygen. And when they went by those farms, the smolts in the boat got infected, and when they came to my area, Broughton, and they put those smolts in the water, they were infected. And the same thing happened, I don't know why this isn't all on the screen, but the same thing happened with the fish farms up near Bella Bella. They brought them by those farms, and by the time they got to Bella Bella, they were infected, and then it spread to all these farms. There was over 12 million infected Atlantic salmon sitting on the Fraser migration route, along with the Chinook, steelhead, and everything else, for 3 years. So that's 6 generations of our fish coming and going. Now, DFO has done research that shows that sockeye can get IHN from infected Atlantic salmon. All of these are Atlantic salmon. But they don't do anything about it. DFO has done absolutely nothing. Farming salmon in the ocean just breaks critical natural laws. As you guys know, these fish move, they're being honed. The adults come in the summer, they go into the rivers, they die. That's a remarkable thing, because in nature, that's expensive. If you've got an animal, or, you know, we have an animal that knows how to go to sea and feed and get all the way home and make babies, and what, it dies? This just seems crazy. Until you think about it, what happens is it breaks the disease cycle. All those carcasses wash away down into the lakes, like you guys were telling me. The little fish come up through the gravel and boom, they go to sea, or they go to the lakes, and the parents are long dead. But what happens now is our wild fish come by, they pass the disease to the fish farms, whether it's sea lice, bacterial, or virus, and then they explode all winter long. And I mean, the research I've been doing in the Broughton Archipelago is horrifying, and I'll get into that a little bit later, what you see. Just in case anybody thinks a fish farm is a little operation, it's not. It's a big industrial activity. They're feedlots. To call this thing a farm is really a fairy tale. They're feedlots. They're cramming as many fish in as possible, feeding them a very unnatural diet, and then as soon as they hit the right weight, they're out of there. They harvest them. So, I mean, their fish don't even need to survive. They only have to get to a certain size. This is what I encountered in 2001. Now, you guys are familiar with sea lice looking like this, although usually they're darker, right? So what this tells you, this is a female. Those are her eggs. That's about, 1,000 eggs there. And she's transparent like this because she's only just become this size. When they get older, they darken up. And this red line means she is eating blood. This is a sea louse that's been on this fish approximately an hour. The really great thing about sea lice is they change their body shape every couple of days for the first month. So these are called copepodites. They've been on for a few hours. This guy with the eye spot there, he's been on for about a week or 2 weeks. This one's been on for about a week. These are the pre-adults. They've been on for about 3 weeks, and boom, she's at least a month old. So what's happened to this little chum, and he's really hard to tell what he is because he's just completely, you know, he's been eaten alive. These holes here are from her hanging on because she's now got these big eggs. Sea lice on adult salmon are not a problem. The salmon is covered in scales, the louse skitters around. It doesn't actually want to kill the fish because that's its whole planet. But in this case, it's a collision of this fish meeting way too many lice too early. So he went by a farm about a month ago, picked up this gal here, went by another farm and, you know, picked this one up 3 weeks ago, went by another farm, picked that up a week ago, went by that farm and got it, you know, I probably caught him right by a farm and he'd just gotten those lice. So, for those of us studying sea lice, it's incredibly clear what's going on. There's absolutely no debate. And we have done, you know, we've looked at this every way possible. This is a study where I had 3 sample sites, and we use seine nets, so they're like 150 feet long, and you go up to the shore and you hand off the line to somebody, and then you pull the net out and you bring it around like that, and then you corral the fish in. And we've learned to actually look at them alive, so and then you've got all your little fry right there, and you just scoop a bucket in like that. And then we have little Ziploc bags, and we just take a tiny little aquarium net, pop a fish in, hold it down in the bag on a piece of graph paper so we can measure them. And then we have a little hand lens, and we just look at the lice and put them back in a bucket. You know, maximum is 45 seconds. It's usually more like 20 seconds. And they seem to survive fine. I've held a couple of them, or a bunch of them, for a month afterwards, and they seem to grow. So, just very quickly, this is how many lice they had when they took all these farms out of this channel in 2003, and this is the year before and the year after. So as soon as they put the farm fish back, the lice come back. So, yeah, this is a presentation from Norwegian scientists. So there was questions, do sea lice spread from farm to wild salmon? And do juvenile salmon die of sea lice? And is there enough of this going on that it's threatening entire populations of wild salmon? Those are the 3 questions we really dealt with. So I did the study at the 3 sites, and I watched when there's no fish in the farms, there's no lice, we put the fish back, the lice come back. Take the fish out, the lice go away, you know, it's really, really easy. What this guy, Marty Krakosik, did was a little bit more challenging. So this is Knight's Inlet, and at every interval here, he looked at 100 fish. So he did the beach seine, there's the little fry in the baggie on there, the hand lens, that's the seine net. And this is a farm there. And in this one year, there was just 1 farm, so this was a really classic, easy study. And what he found was, no lice, oh, couple lice, ooh, a lot of baby lice. Then the lice just got older as you went past. In subsequent years, there's been farms here, and farms here, and farms here, and farms here. And it's the same pattern, except that the lice get older, and then when they go by the next farm, they got more lice, baby lice, and then, yeah, on and on. This is 2 lice on a little pink salmon. We'll go through any more of that, but
can you explain all those things?
I could. But basically what it's saying is there's a lot of lice at the farms. And